Davis coming to you from Attorney King Studio in Coronado on a very rainy, blustery day. The thing missing is, of course, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet too, but that's another story for another time. Everybody, help everybody's being safe. It's been a long time since we've talked last. I'm very lucky and very blessed today to have Tyler Dunn. How you doing today?
Doing good. It's Taylor, by the way. I don't mean to just interrupt you right out of the gate, but
Good.
yeah,
I
it's
appreciate
Taylor. Yeah.
Taylor Dunn. And you were last time you were here. I wasn't here. You were doing a podcast, of course. So tell me, how did you get into comedy?
Well, that's a good question right out of the gate. Honestly, I was about 3 years old and I watched The Mask with my mom.
Oh, with
And
Jim Carrey.
oh yes,
That's a great movie.
The Mask, Ace Ventura, all the Jim Carrey movies. That was really my first big inspiration. And once I started kindergarten, the teachers were like, "Yeah, he just thinks he's just the life of the party. He wants to be a class clown," and that just pretty much just grew until I got to high school. And that's when I first started thinking like I want to do something in the entertainment industry one way or another. So I took my high school theater class, and at the time I was like, oh, I want to be an actor. And when the opportunity presented itself, like, hey, you need to come up with a scene to perform at one of our state competitions, I just was like, I can't find one that I want to do. So I ended up writing it myself, and I ended up winning the state competition.
Wow.
So from then on, it was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to try and be a stand up comedian when I get out of high school. And pretty much a month after I graduated, that was my first time performing at the Stardome Comedy Club in Birmingham, Alabama. And yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote from there.
So I think a lot of times people know kind of when they're very young, kind of where they're going to go. At least a lot of the successful people in different areas. Not everybody does, but people that are going in a direction like I would think like comedy, you kind of knew out of the gate.
Oh yeah, like I've always like enjoyed making people laugh. I feel like at the very base of it all, if you just truly get like a thrill out of like making a group of people laugh, like
Sure.
I get excited just when I do that for 3 people, let alone 350 people. So if I can just make a car full of people laugh, I get some just that little bit of spark, just from that. So
Yeah, because I think right now, comedy's always been a big thing in a lot of our lives. I think right now we need more laughter than any other time.
oh yeah, I completely agree. And I mean, what a time to be a comedian too. Like half the time, some of the stuff I write down, I'm like, I don't even know how to make it funnier than just telling the truth. Like if I just read a teleprompter of what is going on the news, like most people would just fall out on the floor laughing.
So you've got an event coming up,
I
and
do.
you did a successful event. Well, how many months ago? A couple months ago, a month ago, something like that.
So it was the Friday before Halloween. We That was our first official showcase, and the way we set up our showcases, we have a class that is 6 weeks. It's offered to pretty much anybody, and basically we just talk the fundamentals of stand up. Now, a lot of people are like, "Well, I've never heard of this guy. Who does he think he is to teach people how to do stand up?" And it's like I tell my students, I can't teach you how to be Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle. But the funny thing about that is, neither can anyone else who is teaching a comedy class because we're all trying to figure out how to be those people ourselves. What I can do is I can show you just like some basic formats, some formulas, just some of the little basic rules and help you put together a 5 minute set. And that's really what the goal is.
So I think those people you mentioned, like Chappelle, or any of them, even like Howard Stern, who's not really a comedian, but he is kind of a
Oh,
comedian, but
yeah.
he's not. They've tried to be like everybody else, and they failed. But when they started to become themselves and found out what they, let their personality come out and shine, I think that's why they became who they became.
Absolutely. Like you see a lot of that, especially with people starting out. They often mimic somebody that they like.
Huh?
And somebody like me, when I first started, I had such a thick accent. But when I started, I was in Alabama. So
By the way,
everybody
I
else
would
did.
have never guessed that.
Yeah. uh, but yeah, so did everybody else where I started. And coming out somewhere like here, you're automatically like, oh, he's a Southern comedian. So,
And those are the best ones.
well, I appreciate you saying that because not a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people feel like, I guess, in a way, like the South somehow it just has its own brand of comedy and it doesn't translate well over. Like you see a lot of Southern comedians, they normally stay right in that pocket. There's a
That's
couple that travel, nationwide or even worldwide, but there's a lot of comedians that normally just stay right in that Southern area.
so. What about this event coming up? If people want to go and they're not sure because they've got to decide what they're going to go see or do that night, what is it about your event do you think will attract them?
So our event, which is on the 17th, 7:30 at the Emerald Sea Gallery. Basically, so what you'll see is we have two student comics this go around. They have one of them has done stand up before because she took the class the last go around. That's how much she enjoyed taking it. She's taken it 2 times in a row now. And we also have another guy. This is his first time ever doing a performance on stage. And then after that, we have just a full lineup of people that you can see pretty much in any club around San Diego or LA. I've asked them to come in. It's people that I know personally or I've met just once or twice. I'm like, hey, we're doing a show on Coronado and you should come be on it. And they're like, oh, yeah, absolutely. Because Coronado has really not a whole lot to do after the sun goes down. And that was what was
now,
really.
now, here's the thing. I don't disagree with you. I do think it's funny because you would not imagine that unless you lived here or worked here.
Yeah. I've lived here for 2 years now, and by the way, I mean, I love living here. I can't imagine living anywhere else in San Diego.
I agree with you 100%.
It is, I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. The people are friendly. It's almost like a small town atmosphere right next to a big city, and I love that because I come from a small town. But once the
Nice
sun goes down,
nicer beach,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
good beach.
Really beautiful
Just don't
beach.
go in the water.
Yeah. But at night, when I want to go do stand up, I have to go into downtown or I have to go up to La Jolla or even sometimes I go up to LA, which is fine. You want to move around, but I was like, man, if somebody just had something going right here that was just a stone's throw away from my house, like I would go there all the time. So I was like, well, why don't I start trying to do something like that? And so far, it's been pretty successful.
So your event is this Friday. Tell us about the time, the location, and what we can expect.
All right, so the show starts at 7:30. It's at the Emerald Sea Gallery on Orange Avenue, which is 1331 Orange Avenue. I think I got their address right. It's right behind the Brigantine. And yeah, it's going to be a full blown comedy show. We have several different performances. We have Sue Shirey. She works at the Emerald Sea Gallery, and she is a Coronado local. We have Colton Harpy. We have Kylie Troop. We have Chris Espinoza. I mean, the lineup is pretty much stacked with people that you would have to pay like real money to go see at any other club around San Diego. And here, I mean, it's just a really good environment. Our last show, we sold out at 90 tickets and we
Wow.
sold 18 for standing room only. And that was our first show.
Wow. So apparently people need to go and laugh and
Oh, yeah,
and in Coronado, you didn't have to go downtown.
exactly.
So apparently there are people that will come here or are here that want to go and have a nice laugh and have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not only do you have, I don't know what the population is, but you have so many people that live right here in Coronado that are range from, I mean, you've seen the huge houses here. They're millionaires.
Well,
Military.
Not everybody. There's
Not
about
everybody.
7,000 population, something a little over that. Is that what it is, Sarah?
It feels like a lot more because I go back and forth on the base.
There's more people on the base.
Yeah.
But the stay here and live here is about 7,000.
And
something
then
like that.
When you add in, the tourists with all the hotels and resorts right here, like the way I look at it is, let's say me and my family were visiting here from Alabama and we stay at the Hotel Del Coronado. Okay, well, it's been a great day at the beach, but okay, now the sun's gone down. We've eaten dinner. What do you want to do now? Well, we could go to this place. We could go see this movie at the Village Theater. but I really want to go to a comedy show. That's what I like to do. Oh, well, we're having to go into downtown. We're gonna have to get an Uber to go over there. We're gonna have to find parking. That's gonna run you what, $40? Where we have it right here on Coronado, and I mean, a lot of places on Coronado you can just walk to. And
Right.
that's really the big appeal for it is, it doesn't
That's
have
the
all these extra
right.
steps.
That's one of the things about Coronado that I like. And we love comedy. And so I'm excited to and it starts this Friday at what time again?
Friday at 7:30, Emerald Sea Gallery.
That's a great gallery. And I know you're going to do very well. I think people look forward to this. Typically, what's the age group that goes to your crowd,
So
to
normally
your event?
so normally we just have 18 and up just because we don't try to censor anything our comics say. Now obviously, it's gonna be a little bit cleaner than what you're gonna hear at some of the clubs downtown, and I do that just because, I love comedy, but I don't wanna just hear filth.
Right. That's a turnoff after a while.
Yeah. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. I don't even need to go into an example,
Sure.
but yeah, sometimes it's just like, ugh,
You can be
like,
funny. People can be funny without having to use the F word all the time.
yeah.
The F
And
bombs.
and I don't tell people they can't use the F word, but if it's every other word out of your mouth, like, okay, stay at the comedy club if you want to go hear that. And that's what I teach people in my class. Like, that's not how you want to do that. You're not going to watch a, $1 million comedian who uses language to that extent.
Sure. Well, it takes more imagination to be able to tell a story and get people to laugh
Absolutely.
in a right way. And
Absolutely.
instead of this, not to say that and I love physical comedy. I love Jim Carrey, by the way. I love The Mask like you do. And I
He's one of
mean,
my favorites.
sure. So the event is this Friday, and you're going to be doing an act also. Are you just going to be hosting? Or
Yes, I'll be the host. I was the host last time. That's the big thing is like, I don't want the show to be about me. I want it to grow the comedy scene even more than it already is here in San Diego. So I try to give, other comics that I like the opportunity to come perform over here. And hopefully after the turn of the year, we're hoping to expand to bigger and better venues.
is there a website that you have that anybody can see what you're doing and just if they want to go through it at all? Do you have anything like that or anything on Facebook?
So we don't have a website as of right now, but we are on Facebook. If you just look up Crown City Comedy, we're also on Instagram on Crown City Comedy.
Very nice. Okay. Let's support him. Let's support this group. And let's try to find a way to laugh because, man, we need it.
Yep, absolutely.
So thank you for being on my show.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Okay. And I want to thank the sponsors because without them, we're not here. And
That's
hopefully
right.
some of these sponsors can get more involved with what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Attorney King, thank you so much. Sequan Casino Resort and Spa. And of course, Nikki Rottens, who's a great supporter and sponsor of of everything we do here at IQ Podcast. IB Fitness, we were talking about earlier, great place to go, train 24 hours a day. You can get in there. Marina Teal, thank you for your support. And Wilsley Asset Management. Thank you for what you guys do. Take care, and everybody have a good time.